Hi everyone. Alle hører meg sikkert? Ja. We are waiting one more minute, I think. Waleed Al-Husseini, is he coming? Waleed, coming? Okay, it's okay. Yes, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. And this is our second seminar in this year. The first one was slavery and Islam, and I hope everyone knows this seminar will go on in English. So I hope everyone will understand, but yeah. And today we will talk about blasphemy and Islam, and we have one very courageous, and brave ex-Muslim from France. He's actually from Palestine. And he wrote the book Blasphemer. I tried to order this book to the bookshop downstairs, but they couldn't manage to bring. So if you want to buy his book, you can buy e-books. There are in Danish language and in English. Okay, and we have with us Jeanette. She's vice leader of ex-Muslims of Norway. And we have Morgan, board member of ex-Muslims of Norway. He's French. He's living in Norway. I say all the time, he's the best ateist friend ever. We ex-Muslims need people like Morgan. I'm so proud of him because from the day one, we established the organization. He contacted us and he offered his photography job. He have cameras and photographs, and he said, whatever you want, I can help. Because this is not just your struggle, this is our struggle. Yes, I want to go right to the point, and I want to have a brief opening about blasphemy. We have not so much time, we have only 2 hours, so I don't need to go deep inside to theological history. But I can mention some of them, and I can say where you will go and look. I will just show the reality, the reason behind existing of Islam today is not Islamic conquest or forced conversations in history. I believe it is the blasphemy laws in 1400 years is the reason that we have Islam today. Without blasphemy laws, Islamic conquest and forced conversations couldn't help too much the survival of Islam. Anyone who claims that there is a freedom of speech and tolerance in Islam is lying. Don't believe it. Don't believe them. Even today, in 13 countries, it is death penalty for blasphemy, and in all other Muslim countries, it is prison sentences for blasphemy. Everyone, even the most moderate ones, like Turkey or Indonesia. So, unfortunately, the situation is the same as the 7th century in the Islamic world, and I'm sad about that. Western countries doesn't understand what's going on in Muslim countries today, because Islam have never been challenged. Somebody tried, but they paid with their lives. Let us look at some examples, because I want to remind you some cases. I believe, especially in the West, we have a short memory. Things happen all the time, very disgustful thing happening, and we are forgetting very fast. For example, I will start with Turkey, because I think not much of you know so much about Turkey, and I want to take Turkey first, because of Islam apologists often, they say, look at Turkey, look at Indonesia. We can have the secular Muslim countries and there is no problem. But they cannot say today when Muslims religious Muslims have the power in these countries, it's not like they claim. Fazıl Say, a Turkish pianist who charged with insulting Islam in his Twitter message. And he writes this one, and this is not his even. This is from 11th century Omar Khayyam's poem. He writes this and he gets 10 months. And what is this? You say rivers of wine flow in heaven. Is heaven a tavern to you? You say two virgins await each believers there. Is heaven a brothel to you? And this from actually from Islamic sources. In the Quran, in the hadiths, God promised the martyrs and jihadists these things. But he gets 10 months. A writer, Sevan Nishanyan, he been sentenced to 15 months prison in Turkey because of his Twitter message, which he say it is not a hate crime to poke fun at some Arab leader who many hundreds of years ago claimed to have established contact with the deity and made political, economical, and sexual profit as a result. He said that, and he gets 15 months prison in Turkey. Even the comedy is, he's not mentioning Muhammad even. This means Muslims know which leader had economic and sexual and political benefit from his prophet. This is funny, just I think. But and another one. In May 2014, authorities in Turkey cracked down on a popular online forum. Sedat Kapanoğlu, founder of one of Turkey's most popular online forums, name is Ekşi Sözlük. This means sour dictionary, was given a 10-month suspended sentence for blasphemy. A police complaint alleging insult to the Prophet Muhammad were made on a discussion thread at the forum. Some 30 forum members were detained by police and charged with insulting religion. The court ruled that Kapanoğlu had committed the crime of insulting the religious values shared by a group of society. The court also gave suspect Özgür Kuru 7 months and 15 days in jail on the same charges. The court accused a third suspect, Altuğ Şahin, on the grounds that it could not be detected whether he actually committed the crime of insulting religious beliefs. The court also decided to suspend the cases against other 37 suspects. However, all the suspects may be retrieved if they commit the same crime within 3 years. In October 2014, an unnamed I have no this picture. An unnamed woman take a picture, Quran on the ground, and her shoes over the Quran. And she been found, and she get jail. Just for it. And the mayor of Ankara, he pointed that she have to get prison, and she get it. And this one, a teacher sentenced 15 months prison because of he used the username Allah on Twitter. And this happening in Turkey in 21st century. Just imagine the countries which have Sharia laws. Yes, and this from Mauritania. Mauritanian blogger Mohammed Sheikh Old Makhetir, accused of blasphemy for insulting Muhammad and of apostasy. He was sentenced to death in December 2014. In Pakistan, our friends Ayaz Nizami and Rana Nauman, who had Islamic critical Facebook page, Ayaz Nizami and Rana Nauman imprisoned in March 2017 for alleged blasphemy and is currently facing the death penalty in Pakistan. They are still in the prison. I had contact with one of them 2 years, wonderful person, and he is ex-Muslim cleric, 13 years in madrasa. He's the teacher of imams. He knows Islam in and out. And he never insult even. He just put what is writing in the books. And Amnesty and Human Ethics Union knowing, and they are trying. And we have been in the foreign ministry department and talked with our foreign minister. They couldn't help. They will still pay millions crowns to the Pakistan for development. And right after Ayaz Nizami name came up in Pakistan, it started one hashtag campaign on Twitter. Muslims writing hashtag hang Ayaz Nizami everywhere. They even didn't know what he did, what he wrote. They just heard that he is a blasphemer. Then they say, hang him. He must be dragged in the streets, then hang it. Hang Ayaz Nizami. Many of them living in Europe, these people. A Facebook user, Taimur Raza, sentenced to death in Pakistan. Taimur Raza was accused of making a post that made derogatory remarks about the Prophet Muhammad and his family in a way that was interpreted as sectarian. And the other one, a Pakistani Christian couple have been sentenced to death for blasphemy after allegedly sending a text message insulting the Prophet Muhammad. The couple named as Shafkat Emanuel and Shakufta Kauser were found guilty. And those examples are nothing more than top of the iceberg. Believe me. This is nothing. These examples were just when you Google it. Many things we even never heard about. In every Islamic country, either they have Sharia laws or not. Blasphemy is a crime. Actually, if you are lucky enough, you will be arrested by state. Or some Muslims will take laws in their hand and will kill you or lynch you. This one, I will start from there. Mashal Khan, 13 April 2017. He had been killed by his fellow students in university because of blasphemy. They said he's blasphemer. And they lynched him, and they took a video, and we saw it. I share it. I get Facebook prison. It's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing. But it was very bad sense. Now he's in only what you call statistic. Mashal Khan is one of in the statistic. And Nahat Hattar. Nahat Hattar, Jordanian writer. He was arrested after sharing on social media a caricature depicting a bearded man in heaven smoking in bed with woman and asking God to bring him wine and clear his dishes. On his way to court house, he been shot and killed. And the caricature is right from the Islamic sources. Okay, he's just kidding with the God, but God promises to everything's wine and virgins to the martyrs. So why they kill him? Kill the books. I'm getting very angry, you know. And this one, I am not recommend you to watch video of Farkunda. I still now, you know, this woman accused to burn Quran. And in the middle of the day, in Kabul, in Afghanistan, she get attacked by hundreds of men. And they lynch her, and they killed her, and they burned her. And police were there all the time. They tried first to rescue her, but later they just let her die. If you have courage, you can watch the video. It's crazy. And they talk about freedom of speech, Islam is tolerance. No, my friend, it's not. And the other saddest things, the young Omar from Yemen. Omar Mohammed Batawil, a young Yemeni boy, after he had been receiving death threats and accusation of atheism because of comments critical of religion that he had posted on Facebook. Omar was abducted in front of his home in Aden. The day after, his body found in another district of the city. He had been shot and killed. And there comes the all crisis. Muhammad as teddy bear crisis. Have you remembered that? It's not long ago. A teacher called teddy bear as Muhammad in school. People rise up, they have knives, they want to kill her. And she gets arrested. But after international press, she released. And more crisis, the Muhammad cartoon crisis, everyone knows that. There is no tolerance, and this is not Islamophobic conference, okay, or seminar. And excuse me if I'm arrogant. But it's true. Why we cannot talk about? I'm not hating Muslims. My mother is Muslim. My whole family is Muslim. But we have to talk about these things. And we have to find out what is the problem. These people are not terrorists. They're normal people. I don't know why I get angry, but yeah. Okay, and the Muhammad cartoon crisis and the movie Innocence of Muslims. After that, that's happened. And nobody saw the movie even. I have seen, but I'm almost sure nobody in here even seen the movie. And the Pastor Terry Jones and Quran burning crisis, and more, and Charlie Hebdo. I just want to say before I'm finished, because we have not so much time, and I will, okay. I don't like Jesus Charlie. This is I think this proves that we have no courage to confront, to challenge Islam. After so many people die, we say, Jesus Charlie. Take a picture of Muhammad, like this one, and say, Jesus Charlie. All newspaper, all media in Western countries had to publish Muhammad cartoons in the same day and every week. Yes. Then nobody will be the target. But still ongoing, and they give excuse. They are false. They knew it. So, Islam needs to be challenged. We can't reform Islam, but we can reform Muslim minds, mentality. This is possible, but not Islam. Islam in the history, in the books, you cannot change, and Quran forbidden that. You cannot change. It will be there until Islam call it mythology, like other religions in the future. So, Western countries have to do the same with Islam like they did with Christianity in 200 years ago. They have to criticize, they have to ridicule on highest level. This is the only way to wake people up. As me, I was one Islamist. I hated, I burned flags. But somebody challenged me. So the only way to reform Muslim mind to blasphemy. I invite to everyone to be blasphemous. Thank you very much. And now our honorists, they prefer to talk there, and it's good because we will have conversation. So I will give word to the Waleed. After that, Janet will have a speech, and after that, Morgan. I'm very exciting. And after that, you can come here, comment, or ask questions. Thank you.
I'm glad to be here. First, and thank you for coming. First of all, I will start with my testimony or my story. To be honest, it's like same with every ex-Muslim, but it's, you know, the difference is only the small details. For example, I was arrested. The other, like what we see before, they was killed, or some of them they are arrested. The examples of Kamel, it was more focused on Turkey and other stuff. But we also have in Arabic country, we forget Raif Badawi. He was not atheist. He just liberal. He was speaking to liberal the Saudian society. He still, since 6 years, he's in jail. He's arrested. And we have he speak about Mauritania and Yemen. Yemen, it's not only Omar. It was other before, like other two got killed in the same way, just because they would post something on Facebook and because they are in Aden, they got killed. And also we have in Tunisia, there was people got arrested. Tunisia, when we speak about Tunisia, sometimes we speak about Tunisia like one of the most liberal Arab country. We have in Morocco, one of my friends, he just live in London, in United Kingdom. We have this problem in Egypt too. We shouldn't forget that. Egypt, there's many of them was arrested, many of them still wanted, if we will say it. So my story, it's beginning like most of them. Some of them still in jail, some of them waiting to be killed. Like Muhammad Mukhater in Mauritania. You know, Muhammad Mukhater, he didn't criticize Muhammad. He just write article against slavery because it's full in Mauritania. And then because, you know, slavery exists in Quran, so they told him it's blasphemy. Anyway, these examples take long and long if we will mention example. So I will speak about my testimony or what happened to me in Palestine, West Bank. I will speak about I'm from Qalqilia, West Bank. It's mean not from Gaza, to not make the difference, because people think here, if we speak about Gaza following to Hamas, so Hamas, they are Islamists, so it's normal. No, I was under Palestinian authority. So me, my story starting in secondary school, and because there we study like Islam in all our school from the beginning of our study. I just have like questions about free will, because Muslim, they're saying that Allah write for us everything. So it just was like one question from young boy. He just asked like the teacher. I told him, okay, if Allah write everything for us, and he write for Muhammad to be prophet, and for Waleed to be atheist, and then he will put me in hell, and he will put Muhammad in paradise. So where is the justice of Allah? It was just this question from the beginning. So the teacher, he didn't give me the answer I was looking for. Then I start to ask some imams in my village, Qalqilia. Then I didn't also have the answer, so I start searching by myself. I open the explanation of Quran like Ibn Kathir. I read some of Muhammad, what we call a hadith. It's mean like Al-Bukhari and Muslim. And when I study more, when I read more, I become shocked more and more. So during six years, during 6 years, I choose to leave Islam and become like non-believer. In that time, I just have not so much courage to ask the question about Allah exists or no, because I just still 18 years, and it's like we live with these things from Allah. It was for me just the beginning. I don't ask the question of God, of existence of God. So in that time, I start my university. So I tried to share my ideas with the community of university. I mean, because I thought we are all young, we share the same ideas, we see things like us, what we say. So in that time, when I just say that I don't believe in Islam anymore, I start like rejecting by all my friends there. So after one semester, I decided to change my university because I couldn't stay in this society who rejecting me. So I back to my city, I changed the university, and I decided to start to be myself on internet, because in that time it was the only way, and I avoid many things. And in that time I made Arabic I made a blog by Arabic, so to speak to I always call myself in that time researcher for the truth. So it was okay. It was kind of criticize the Islam, kind of asking the question about Islam. So from that, I start my blog with these short articles. There is nothing else, and also Facebook. I use Facebook to have the discussion with other Muslims. In the beginning, I didn't have any one with me. I mean, all are insulting me, or all threats me, all are like assume you like you are just somebody paid by foreign service or by Israel or Zionist or something like this. And anyway, this exists everywhere till now. Anyway, in that time, when I start my blog, it's become step by step. I had some people who with me. It was like, many of them asking the same question, but they are scared or afraid, because what's happening from childhood for everyone who born in Muslim family, I will not say family, society, Muslim society or community. It's become like brainwashing, because everything you will belong for Allah and Islam and all these things. So when you have kind of this question, some of them feel scared to continue asking, because they will feel themselves like crazy or something like this. So the first reaction you had from in that time, it was like, I thought it's just me who thinking like this. So there is other people who speak. So internet and social media, it's made for us like society. We can share our ideas and our criticize for Islam without having the fear, because you can have fake profile, you can have fake identity, just you share your ideas. And that's till now, sorry to say that, but till now it's exists. I mean, many of us who live especially in Arabic or Islamic country, they use a fake identity on internet just to be themselves, because if they know will happen to them what happened to me, or what happened to the other example we see before. Anyway, for me, as I said, I was arrested. I will speak about it after. But for us, ex-Muslim, the problem is not only the government. I mean, not the government, not the law. Our problem is the society itself, because even if the government will not care for you and somebody recognize you at the street, you will be attacked, you will be killed. This is the problem. The society it's not prepared, or the society it's not having the same acceptable of criticizing. That's why in Yemen, most of them got killed by the normal people. I mean, in Afghanistan, Farkhanda got killed by people going out. In Romania, in Mauritania, they're going manifestation in the street, asking to kill Muhammad Wald Mkhatar. It's organized 3 Friday after the prayer. They're going to in the street in front of the government, asking to excuse him. So our problem in the beginning with the society, and then the government is, and the law is taken from the society. So for me, in 2010, 2nd of October, I was arrested. I was arrested by Palestinian Authority. And why? It's just because my blog and other activity of atheism on internet. First, I thought that we are a secular state. Anyway, it did not exist, but I thought we are secular, like what they're saying in the law. But in jail, I discovered that the second article in the law, even in all Arabic country and Islamic country, saying that Islam is the main resource for justice. And it's just recently changed with Tunisia. Tunisia, it's changed it just in 2 years ago, maybe, nothing else. But all have the same. When you see something like this, you ask yourself, they was telling us before that, like, Arabic country is communist. We have communists in the Nasser time, for example, in 70s. Yes, but they have the same law. Nobody speaks about the law. This was one of the big mistakes for Arabic secularism and communist, because they didn't touch this law, or they didn't, and still have the resources from religion, from Islam, not all the religions. So there, for me, it was 3. I spent 10 months. Sorry, I just make to speak about the story of jail. I spent 10 months. First 4 months was just asking me question, and it hurt me, and I didn't sleep. Like in this 4 months, I just sleep 2 hours. I spend my time just standing, or standing with raising one hand, and all their question was, who financed your atheism? Because for them, they think that Islam, you can't have the right or to choose your way to living Islam. For them, Islam is perfect, and if you left it, that means somebody pay for you. So after this 4 months, it was okay. It was this first 4 months without anything. I mean, without visiting, without speaking, just the answer to have this question. And always, because I have the same answer for them. It's, I just choose that. I just become, I just have a question. I didn't do anything. Then they went, and they was researching. They open my mobile. They take everything. They call some numbers to be sure, and they go to my bank account, and they say there is nothing. It's become okay. They stop now. Then they start the justice, the court. The court was military. Okay, why? I am civil person. I don't have to be in military court. There, I said that in the first one in the first court. I asked why I am civil. I am civil, and so why I have military court. They said, because what you did, it's effect on all Palestinians, not only effect on you. This is what the reason. You know, you don't have to do any. They have the power, so okay. So they give they assume me with three. First one, it was like insulting the gods of religion. Anyway, this if you will speak about the law to be more British, it's just because I insulting what you think it's Allah. Because if you speak about God of religion, we will say, for example, some Indian they pray for the cow. So when you are Muslim and when you do this zakat, so you don't respect the other gods. The second one, sorry, the second one, it was like insulting the feeling of Muslims. Okay, so the third, it was like making a problem and the not peace of society, and these things. And it was the most worst one. That I am asking for humanity or to be more more human with the other and accept each other, not just only the Muslim. And they calling me of this, not like in that time all imam or sheikh in TV was asking for killing non-Muslim, killing even the Quran itself saying the same. Anyway, so and this was the most worst one because it's like high things. The court spent 6 months. I mean, from first 1 and 6 months. After 4 and 6 months, it's become 10. They tell me, let me free because of Ramadan, and I was, because you know I was not in the real jail. I was in the building of special service. And in that time, and that time because they will have vacation, so they told me, okay, you can go out of jail, but you should stay at your home. Don't leave your home. Don't use any communication things. And every night you come to the police center to sign that you are still here. And the court, it will continue. So it's like criminal, because I am criminal for them. Or for the law, for the secularism law in Arabic country. So in that, it was in September. I was out of jail in September, in beginning of September. Then the court still. So after in February next, I fed up with this because you know I was out of jail. Then I can't go out. I can't do anything. I just sitting at home. And if you try to go out, or even with somebody, and they just looking like you aposta, kafir, and you should get killed and all these things. But after I was out in September, in October, in end of October, other military things come arrest me again. They told me, okay, there is new things happening in internet against Islam and Allah. So you are behind this. Oh no, I don't use any things. Okay, no problem, you stay here. They in that time they was taking me like on Thursday night, then Friday and Saturday we have nothing. I mean, we don't have court and anything. So I just stay on the police center. And then Sunday they told me, okay, go out. It's not you. In that time, from October till the time I left Palestine. I left Palestine in 14th of February, Valentine's Day. Yeah. So from that time, I was arrested like 6 or 7 times, just like this. In the weekend, they come to me, and they said, "Okay, you did this again." No, not me. I said, "Okay, no problem, stay." So I had some problem inside one of the police station because of some people who was with me. They said, you are apostate, and they're trying to beat me or something. So from that time, I decided that I said, I can't live here anymore. I should leave, because I thought if I will go out, I will be able to live again in this society. But it was not. So in Valentine's Day, I decided to leave Qalqilia and going to Jordan. Yeah, people was celebrating love, and I was celebrating hate. Anyway, so I went to Jordan through normal, because we can go to Jordan with our passport, and I don't have problem with the borders, because the border is not belong for Palestinian, it's belong for Israelian. So I went to Jordan, and from Jordan I went to the French embassy, because in that time was the French minister was speaking about me to be out, because this is freedom of speech. So they know my story, and I don't want to lose any time staying there, because my court is still on. So in French embassy, they gave me visa, and I came to France. When I arrived to France, it was normal. So I create Council of ex-Muslim in France, just to be in that time France, like we created in 2013, and it was things like normal. I mean, there is not normal in the look. I mean, not inside the society. You just say, okay, there is no, because that was most of European think. If we don't have the jihadist attack or some problem in the media, so that means the society is fine. I think here in Norway, everybody thinks fine, but no, thinks it's not fine, even in Norway itself. We will speak about it later. So in France, it was like this. In 2013, there's no any terrorist attack, so they was thinking things is fine. And we create Council of Ex-Muslim to be like the voice of apostate, to defend laicity, laicity, because laicity is different than secularism. Laicity is the French form of laicity, of secularism, and I prefer it than secularism, because laicity it means the religion is out, but secularism means religion is equal, and I prefer religion out, even from the public space and all these things. So I am for the French form of laicity, even it's now they discuss it. We create to defend laicity, to defend women, to be the idol of, to show that for Europe people that there's ex-Muslims who believe in modern value, and there's some people who leaving Islam. That's why even we keep the term ex-Muslim. We keep it always for this, because here in Europe, if you look like Arab, if your name Arab, you are already Muslim. They will not think. Even we have Jewish, we have Christian, but nobody care. So it was to be like this, to show this. And in 2014, I published my first book. It was about my story. And in that time, we decided to publish the book in 14th of January 2015. But in 7th of January 2015, Charlie attack happened. When I write the book, it's just was like testimony to show French, to introduce them a new generation exist in Arabic and Islamic world who just who left Islam and they had a problem like what we do. But after the publish, it's become something else, because now France under attack, under terrorist attack. So things change now. Now so I start to look what happening in Europe, because it was the beginning Charlie attack, then happened Nice and others, happened Nice and 13th of November, many terrorist attack in France and even in Europe itself. So we would, for me, I start to try to explain the way of thinking of what they call Islamist. But for me, I prefer to use Islam politique, because it's Islam politique now. I know it's coming from Islam, like what all know, but maybe one time Islam will be fine, and not now. But let's speak about Islam politique, because Islam politique is more organized, and that's what he doing here. So for me, it become more for explanation and explain the way how Islam politique work inside any society, because they have the same way, the same ideology. They wanted to pass it, and I was between them. Not only me and all the ex-Muslim have the same, because they was there. So I start this things now in France. I mean to speak about Islam politique, and here start other problem, because the people who will be against you, it's not only Muslim, with other who are collaborate with Islam politique. Most of them left and far left. The problem with left, they don't learn from the history. We have Iranian here. And one of the big example about the collaboration between Islamism or Islam politique and left, it was the Iranian Revolution. They make the revolution. They bring Khomeini from Paris to Tehran. 2 years after, he killed all of them. That's what happened. Indonesia, the same. They killed all of communists for the same reason. So, but here in Europe, the collaboration with Islam politique still worked. If you want, so the enemy become like Muslims and the alliance of them and all these things. But the way of working, it's different. I mean, here, when that's why we have something like, in a French, I think it exists in anywhere, when they say Islamo left, something like this. It means that the alliance between the left and Islam politique. I think it exists, this one, no? Islamo-gauchiste, but not here. I mean, in the okay. So
Waleed Al-Husseini uses the same word, Islamo left.
yes, but Islamo-gauchiste, it exists in. Yes. So this exists in all of Europe, in the name of liberty, in the name of we are against racism, because I don't know who's racism. The one who will defend his own, defend the modern value, or the one who will bring us the Middle Age values. I really don't know who's the racist in this case. So these people, I know, but it's not good. So here, the way of, let's speak more about France, because France has become more like open for these things. because Muslim is more the Islamic politic there more organized. There are more number from here. But anyway, look at France now and look at, for example, Norway after 10 years. It will be the same situation of France now. There is nothing changed because what Norway living now, it's what France lived 10 or 15 years ago. There is no difference. For example, when you speak before, there was always not speaking. I mean, not speak about the hate speech inside some mosque or hate speech inside on social media. All these things was like just avoid it, don't speak about it. This is happening here now. Because this make other things for the new generation of Muslims, how they look for the new society. In France, this alliance of leftists and Muslims work well. Now after the attacks and what happening is some of the progress left, he start to think more, and yes, they know there is the debate and there is the discussion, and we have problem with Islam politic. But here still no, because they didn't feel the effect. They didn't have jihadist attacks, terrorist attack, so they think they are fine. But no, they are preparing themselves. They are preparing themselves not only with mosques, not only with separation between, to have their own areas. It exists here maybe, no? Yeah. To have their own value. It's more to be, that's why they was believing in multiculturalism, multiculture in France, and look what happened. Look, for example, United Kingdom. How is it? They have their own courts. They have Sharia for them. So this is dependent only step by step. First, for the number of Muslims. I'm not talking about number. For example, you will not compare the number of Muslims inside Norwegian society with the number of Muslims. It's like here 3% of Muslims in Norway. When they start 5 till 10, when they start 5, they will have their voice more and will demand more. That's why I don't agree. It's back here. I don't agree with any people who defend hijab. For example, here they will tell you hijab is culture. Hijab is I don't know, liberal choice or free choice. No, hijab is always it's always the same symbol of Islam politique. Is to show the power. That's why I am against hijab. Not only niqab, because I think here nobody will say niqab it's okay, because niqab is hidden of the identity. We agree with that, no? Yeah. Okay. So, for example, I don't like this. That's why I'm against hijab. So I don't accept the one who will tell you liberal or free choice. I'm against halal food. Because even the halal food is identity too, to make their own things. Even with halal, the factories of halal, it's like yes, it's so with all this value, you are in free society. Why you wanted to copy paste your old society you left? And then with with anyway for other all these value of Islamic value, it's not racism, and I don't agree with Kamel when he said it's not Islamophobic conference. Islamophobic, it's not exist. It's just used because and mixed. Some of them they mix Islamophobic with racism. Okay, we will say racism exists because racism you will have it, me will have it, even we are not Muslims or we are lifting Islam. If it exists, and it's taken many forms. But Islamophobia itself, it's not exist. We don't have the phobia. It's from something. It's not exist. But no, Islam is a threat for the modern society. So I hope you never use it. I really. Yeah.
Yeah, I say this because of, in Norway, to everybody say, Islamophobic seminar
Yes.
from the ex-Muslims of Norway. No.
But
I
that's
may
why
agree with
told-
you. I
that-
don't believe
that's
in
why I told you
Islamophobic.
it's not exist. But when you will use it 1, 2, 3, 4, then it will be exist for them.
And
Because
then
with Islamophobic, racism, all these things, for me, I said it many times. When they accuse you for Islamophobic, it's just because here they can't give fatwa against you. That's all. Because here, if they send fatwa against you, they will be arrested. So just that's why Islamophobic is just modern fatwa, nothing else. Taking the other things. So, for example, Charlie Hebdo, before they attacked them, they was accused them for Islamophobia. And other, with who are got arrested. So that's why Islamophobia is just a way of giving fatwa in modern society, because they will be afraid of the law. And they're using also racism, or they're using the liberality of the society for their own value or to destroy it. That's why I hope you never use these things, and you even to fight this war, because this does not exist, and they will keep use it just to become like stamp for you.
We have actually pinpointed this at several occasions, that when someone calls us Islamophobe, what they're really saying is that you are just doing the fatwa thing, but they are just trying to actually tell you that you are a sinner. No?
Yes.
You are a blasphemer. And the word
fatwa.
Islamophobe, it actually has no value, but they are using it constantly. And we are fighting it exactly the way that you
Yes.
just described it there. So it's in progress.
Yes, and other things for these values, I mean, even the forms of Islam or Islam politique, it's like this hijab and stuff, it's like become, it's not culture anyway. Don't let them, don't come to this place of mixing these things with culture. And even because even with culture things, if it's not culture, it's become more and more modern. We know what the meaning of hijab. We know. So why we accept it? If you accept with if you agree with equality, you will not accept hijab, because hijab means that the woman is a second citizen in the society. So if you call yourself left and you believe of all these things, so why you will defend hijab? And this all this problem exist. Waleed. Yeah. So in the end, for me, if I will speak about the solution, yes, let us. If we will speak about solution, let us speaking about fighting fighting Islam politique, fighting Islam itself, criticizing Islam too, because criticizing Islam, because when they speak, they're mixing with criticizing Islam and criticizing Muslim. Criticizing Islam, it's not racism, because Islam is not race. You can find Muslims who are African, who are Asian, who are Arab.
Or white from West,
Yes.
convert.
So there is Islam. It's not race. So one of to criticize Islam is one of way to have solution, but this solution will be in long way. But we should fight Islam politique itself exists in the society. We should understand the way, like how he work, how he trying to make in the beginning soft Islamization for the society, to make you, if you see today hijab or niqab, it's okay for you, no problem. We use for that. This is, from here, the summation start from this point when it become for you normal to see hijab, to see Quran, to see them praying in the street. From here, the end start for the Islamization of society. From this point, that's why, and especially when they're starting with some of what they call Arabic Central or Islamic culture. Islamic culture, it not exist anyway. But what the Islamic culture is. All these things, when you start to accept them, the end will start. That's why we should stand up for this, and we should stand in this, I mean in European society, we should stand up for the modern value. This value who many of people will pay blood for it. So that's why we shouldn't let it for the others. And don't to come in on this discussion of things. I hope so. It's okay or finish?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
I can continue.
No.
Okay. Thanks.
Excuse me, allergies. Into it.
Okay, yeah, Janet, it will not be too long. Like Waleed, he's our honor guest, so he have the.
It was long.
No, it was not long, but we have no much time. But we will. They have short speeches, so after that we can have a little bit conversation if we have time. If no, we give the microphone to the audience. Yeah.
So I just gonna do a quick introduction of myself. I am born in Norway by Pakistani parents, and they didn't want me or my siblings to grow up in a manner in which they would lose control over us, because that would be a loss of honor. Pakistani parents, Muslim parents in general, they have to control you while they are being controlled by the community around them in order to participate in an arranged marriage ritual that is about controlling your children from becoming used in a manner of being developing your own preferences, having friendships, not being the pure unused product that you are supposed to be when they can offer you on the market of arranged marriage. So that I would stay pure. My parents, they traveled back to their own country, and I was raised there. They forced my marriage over there. I came back to Norway, 17 years old, and tried to sort of make sense with my family, to let me be the secular person in Norway. I tried for 2.5 years, and it didn't work, so I packed my things and I left. Ran away from my own family, and I was on my own for 2 years when there was this debate on television, Centrum, very popular, everyone in Norway knows about this. Per Ståle Lønning, he was the host of this program, and he had invited a panel of Muslim spokespeople. They were discussing a book written by a journalist called Hege Storhaug. She went to Pakistan to inquire and investigate the Muslim woman's life. When she was back with her book, the Muslim spokespeople, they said that this is all a fabrication to create racism against Muslims. And they claimed that the phenomenon of force doesn't exist in Islam. Forced marriages are absent. And if there was anyone who had actually experienced this, they would stand up and speak instead of being anonymous, because anyone before me who had admitted that they had experienced this terror decided to stay anonymous, to not be threatened on their life. Because a product that doesn't stay pure is eliminated in Muslim homes. The girls are killed. It's called honor killings. That's the famous thing to call it. That's the understood word. So I decided that day to stand up and give this horror that a lot of women are experiencing a face. And ever since, I have written a lot of articles. I have given a lot of interviews. 20 years ago, people from Muslim communities tried to make my situation seem as something that was a family tragedy. It was a unique case. But now, 20 years later, we have documented that there is something called negative social control. It is happening not just to the girls or the boys, it is happening to families, it is happening to communities in which everyone is controlling each other and everyone is obeying the demands of the imams in the mosques. Everything is coming directly from Islam. My blasphemy was more practical, actually. It was more like I stood up against sin in the start. I wanted to have friends. I wanted to talk to people. I wanted to talk to boys. I wanted to talk to girls. I wanted to know what people were thinking. This was forbidden. It was not accepted by my parents. It was not accepted by other people's parents. We were a lot of young Pakistani people experiencing that when we grow up, we're going to do something different. We're not going to do this anymore. But as you grow up and the indoctrination keeps happening, you become more and more damaged, and you let your will go, and you become your parents. The last article I wrote, no, the second last article I wrote, was actually because our Prime Minister, she said that people were religious racists. That's the word she used, and that gave me a panic. It was horrible, calling us racists against a religion that is not allowing you to be friends and not allowing you to love anyone, and is practicing hate speech in mosques, in homes, and just killing liberty to become a part of the majority. That is terrible. And I'm going to just stop here now, because we are very honored you're here. And I will continue this. This is the first time I'm speaking in English about these things. But I'm looking forward to doing this more often, because we need to build a network, all ex-Muslims around the world. We need to build a network, and we need everyone to participate who is interested in creating this freedom to come back in which we can discuss horror that is happening to a lot of people. The hijab, for example, it means rape is my fault. That's all it means. I am against it. I would never tell a girl what to wear, ever, but neither should the imam. Thank you.
And Morgan, I want to have him here because of I want to hear. I'm exciting. I don't know what he will talk, but because of his support to the ex-Muslim movement from the day one, like I said, and when I have met with him many times, and we talk about religions, and Islam, and integration, and immigration, everything. And he's French, and I love French people. And he's a good atheist, and he's board member of ex-Muslim. And I say all the time, I need more Morgan. We need.
I don't know if everybody would agree.
So I'm excited, but just speak a little bit.
Yeah, like
Why you support us?
well, I suppose.
Continue.
Because, like, first, let me state that if there was a way of being paid for being an atheist, I mean, I'm definitely in. I'm told I'm the best, so I guess there is some money to be made there. Second, why I'm supporting you is because I do believe, like, I'm an atheist. That means that I don't believe in a God. That's all it means. I don't buy any of the definition of God that is being proposed by anyone, okay? That's all it means. Doesn't mean that I'm not open-minded, that nobody is gonna convince me ever. I doubt it strongly now, but that's not what it means. It means that I just now, today, don't believe it. And for that opinion, someone somewhere would be willing to kill me, to imprison me, to torture me, like many others. I've seen it happen. I've heard people talking about it. I do believe it. I do believe them. And so basically, I think that we are in the same boat. And I moved to Norway because it was many reasons, but one of them that was making Norway attractive was that it was supposedly 80% atheist. Yeah.
I think he's good at it.
Like, I don't think I've seen that many temples around than on my way to work in center. It's absolutely insane. But when I arrived 10 years ago, it was still okay. I was discussing with people. I met with a couple of Norwegian atheists, like one famous one, Norwegian that I'm not going to name because I don't think he deserves it. But met him, and I was like in the position where I actually didn't have anybody to talk about because their atheism was not at the same level as mine. You know, I was including every religion. I was not making distinction between races or nationalities. I was just talking about religions and beliefs, just mere opinions. And I'm losing a bit the course of my thoughts now, but yeah, and now we are today where I have that jumper that I made like a few years ago that says atheist on my chest. And I wore it a couple of times in town, and now I don't dare to wear it anymore. Because when I walk around in Grønland or even center, more like Jonstorget, I remember once I was standing on Jonstorget in the center with some friends. We were going to the beach or something, and I have this same as the jumper as a t-shirt. So it was summer. Yeah, I like it. And I was talking with friends on the street, and literally, it was a kebab restaurant right there. And the entire restaurant came out and was just staring at me. I believe because of my t-shirt, you know? Like, there is a fucking atheist there, you know? Let's get him. A ticket to heaven right there. And so, yeah, things happen. Charlie Hebdo happened, really traumatizing for me. I have a lot of my humanist views that have been brought to me by those guys that I've read a lot. And I'm like super saddened to see that it doesn't even create the outrage it deserves, and didn't create the wake-up call that I thought would happen. That people are still like saying like they should have expected it, which I'm sure they did, kind of. But and some go to the point to say that they asked for it. And like I said in that paper that I wrote to come here, I don't think any of them asked for it. I don't think no one asked for what happened. Like, obviously, I don't think any of us are looking for troubles. I think that we are in trouble. I think that ex-Muslim
people who saying that about even Charlie or anyone who criticizes Islam, they give excuse for jihadism.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing
It's
else,
apologism.
because nobody asked for this. They're just doing one of their own right. They just criticize. They just criticize the ideology, and this is what anything of human rights accepted. So nobody asked for these things, and these people just are collaborators, or even just give excuse for Muslims.
Yeah, it's
for
absolutely,
jihadists.
it's completely apologetic of what happened to them. And like I was saying, none of us are looking for trouble, or we just want to use the freedom that we are supposed to have. Okay, I'm French. They like brainwash us with that. Like, you have freedom of speech, you have freedom of expression, you're in a free country. This is basically the remains, I believe, of the revolution, where you have to be able to express your discontent with authorities and question the source of their authorities. Otherwise, you can never like stand up against it if it goes too far. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I'm with you, because I think that's the most important fight.
There is no far with freedom.
It's not far.
Freedom is freedom.
Yeah.
It's not. There is nothing called extreme freedom, or freedom is freedom.
Yeah.
Take it all or leave it all.
Yeah. And when it comes to blasphemy and Islam, two things. The only thing is that Islam makes it really difficult not to blaspheme against it, because they basically say that you have to follow everything that Muhammad says because he is perfect. And Muhammad has said and has done all these atrocities that are being made in the name of Islam. So if you criticize him, he's perfect. He's been chosen by God. Then you're a blasphemer. So that's one thing. And second thing is that I see the weakest point of all religion in their sensitivity to criticism, to blasphemy, and to disbelief. And so that's it. That's the weapon. That's what we have to do. We have to blaspheme. We have to question. We have to express ourselves. We cannot shut up. If we shut up, we're gone. So we have to express ourselves. We have to piss off everybody. I've lost many friends for expressing my ideas. People call me an asshole. Some people call me, I heard it a lot. I wear it as a badge of honor now. Racist, all of it we've heard. I know I'm not a racist. I know that all humans are the same. I know that all of you are just like wondering about the same things as I do wonder. Like, to be basic, why the fuck am I here? Why do I have to suffer the life I suffer it and witness all the things that I'm witnessing? Is it like a reason for that? And all those who pretend that there is one never convinced me that they had the answer to that. So I just don't want to believe in it. And it's a choice. I think it's a choice. From the moment that it's a choice, you may not choose to be born a Muslim because you don't choose your family, you don't choose your parents, you don't choose the place you are born in. But you can always choose to leave it once you have enough evidence or enough arguments to do so. So as soon as it's a choice that you can make to change your mind, it can be racism. It's just like rationality. That's my opinion.
I just want to say, this is the reason why I 2 years ago, I just, after many years in Norway, not so many years, but 14 years I have been in Norway, but I have been in debates and on Facebook like this, like normal person. But I decided, because I believe exactly this is the reason I would to start the ex-Muslims of Norway, because of we have to normalize acceptance of criticizing Islam and living Islam, blasphemy and apostasy. If we can do that, it will be peaceful Islam. Who believe in what? In one stone? If you believe one stone, you can't just believe it. It's not my problem. But don't push to your daughter, your wife, your community, your state, nothing. I'm not interested in what are you believing. And this, because, every time when I meet with ex-Muslims, and I ask them, I say to them, why you left Islam? This is my first question, because I want to know. And everyone have different reasons, many things, but one thing is all time is the same. They say, they challenge me. I have been challenged, and I heard critics of Islam, and I had to read. When I read, I find it they had right. They are not lying. Because we have common sense. I believe that every person can wake up, like me. I woke up because of once I hated the author of Woman and Islam. İlhan Arsel, Turkish writer, he wrote a book in 1990, and I hated him because he wrote that Muhammad say woman is as a snake, woman is like a dog. When I opened this, I just close it and throw it. I said he's lying, but he put some doubt in my head. And after this, another atheist in Turkey. And after that, Turan Dursun, he had been shot and killed. One mufti, the leader of imams in Turkey, he left Islam, he write the books. This is the religion, book name. First, I hated him. He insulted me. It's happening like this. If we will wake up one day, if Islam will be like every other religion, just some fantasy, so we have to criticize, and we are talking so much about racism and these things because of this problem in the West. This is the barrier they put just when we are talking about Islam, not other things. Then you are not racist. They can make caricature of Jesus like gay, or they are there in Western atheists still criticizing priests, and they are not racist. They are not hater. Church and the prophet, so I love Morgan because of I'm missing atheist, Western atheists, some like don't care the racism, Islamophobia, accusation, nothing. They have to open arms to us. We are not enemy. We are your friends, and we are Muslims friends. I care my family. I know I cannot change my mother, but I can change some young people, and they are contacting us every day in Norway. But they can't dare to stand up right now, but they're coming. Like, I get 2 days ago one picture from a refugee center, one young boy from Saudi Arabia. He's ex-Muslim, and he have true identity. He's not a false immigrant or something, and everything is okay with him. He can stay in Norway. But he's still there to get the house. He sent me one picture, imams and the woman with hijab, and the priests will come the 17th of April there for dialogue meeting. And he writes to me, oh my, there is no place to escape from this. They find us everywhere. Why? Why they are going there? What they will do in refugee center? Imam. For dialogue. Why? Dialogue. What's this? We have to do something. We have to provocate state, politicians, and the Muslims. I'm saying Muslims. Before all time when I say Muslims, I have to think. Not all Muslims, but some. Shut up. I know who I'm talking about. Of course, not everyone. I know many percent of Muslims, even not Muslim, only name. They have Islam only name. I mean, it's the Muslim who the Islamists or Islamic politic, like he say, Islamists. And who are the Islamists? They are not ISIS. They can be everyone who put their daughter hijab and sent. They are Islamists too.
No, for me, they are fundamentalists.
They are fundamentalists, okay. No, for me, they are Islamists too.
Here, Europe, they make many difference of definition. For them, when you call fundamentalist, they think that just the jihadist. No, fundamentalists start from here. That's why the one who want to force the society for hijab or for halal food or this, he's fundamentalist because he wanted his own value to be in the society. The one who don't believe in equality, he's fundamentalist. The one who don't believe with freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of the caricature, even if he will draw his prophet, he's fundamentalist too. When you don't accept the value of society, the modern value of society you live in, you are fundamentalist because you wanted to change it and to make them back to your middle age value. They are fundamentalists. The one who will force the young girl for hijab, he's fundamentalist because he do that for this girl. The one who don't believe in the homosexual right, all these things, he's fundamentalist too.
It's like when you throw a stone in the water, it creates waves.
Yes.
A woman who is wearing a hijab, she is opening up a situation in which it is justified to call the women who are not wearing the hijab whores or loose moral, and these things we hear them all the time. But if I say it, someone is going to call me a racist, but I don't care because the person who says racist loses the argument in my eyes immediately. Sort of what we are doing too when we're throwing a stone out there in the water. I thought I was alone for such a long time until you approached me. And we were all throwing stones in the water, trying to spread some information out there. And the more we are gathered, the more good arguments we can have, the more good discussions we can have. So they are trying to kill friendship. They are trying to kill you from handshaking, from actually being in the same place at the same time. They are trying to segregate. And we are trying to come together, bring everyone together, have more exchange of thought, have more exchange of our ideas about how we are experiencing these religious demands and these religious changes everywhere. So this is a good thing that we are doing, and we are speaking up against the hate that is actually being protected by the left through calling us hateful.
Exactly.
So,
But to sum up for me, the solution, if Islam wanted to stay or want not be like just things, or even for Arab to disappear or Muslims to disappear, the only solution for Islam is to become private relation between the Muslim and his God, not to become like what he is now, because Islam is religion for a group, for ummah. That's what they care for. That's why they share it everywhere between them. They wanted to show it. That's why Islam is the religion of a group, what we call ummah. But
I think they are all like that. It's just like
you
try to group people.
Yes,
like
I'm
believers.
talking about that. No, because here what's happening now is like more to separate Islam with the groups, like when they go to the prayer, when they go to pray, when they go to, they believe it for all together.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just between you and God, because they didn't care even if you pray at your home. They don't care for that.
No,
For example, I just want to say, I understand what you mean. But if you, for example, you Westerners, you travel somewhere, and meet with some other people, do they ask you first, are you Christian? Are you Christian?
Muslim?
They don't do that. Yeah.
Muslim.
But in the Muslim world, even, my friend asked the Spanish guy on the airport, hi, my friend, he want to ask something. Are you Muslim? The first question, because I understand him.
That's
we
why
have
any meeting with Muslim, with friends,
we have
it will, if you have Muslim in the group speaking, the debate will arrive for Islam. Always.
like brothership,
Always.
It is
Then
a little different, I think.
he will tell you, are you Muslim? Why you not Muslim? And it will end that Islam is the best religion in the earth. And Assalamu alaikum.
Like in the McDonald's, when I order a hamburger, the guy from Bosnia or look like he's Balkan, first thing to me, this is
Bacon, haram.
bacon, no, pig, pork. I say, one time my wife there too, I get stressed and I say, okay, then the other one. But in the first year, my first year here, but after that, when they ask, I say, yeah, I know, just give me. But, like this, we have a different mentality because of from childhood, like Waleed say, from the childhood, we learn I call the fundament of Islam. Ummah. We Muslims, we are brothers. Like Kurdish people today, if you can see in the Middle East, why Kurdish people have no freedom, because they fall. I'm Kurdish, my mother and father Kurdish, but I have no this identity because it doesn't matter. What does the Kurdish mean? I'm Muslim. We are brothers. It is this mentality we had. This is the reason Kurdish people have no freedom, because they chose the
Islam
identity Islam. Before
This is one of the big problems in Europe. Anyway, in Europe, the Muslims say we are Muslim first, then we are Norwegian or France, or even to care for the others. This is one of the big problems here. They should feel Norwegian or French or whatever, and then they are Muslim. Because when you make yourself Muslims, you make your religion in the beginning, and the religion become control you. So anything against your religion inside the law, you will not accept and you will fight it. And that's what happening here.
I think we can continue all day. It's good to speak. But before you but I just want to ask you, Morgan. I'm asking every Westerners. I ask it even Waleed. He's not from the West, but if you want to explain shortly how you Western managed to ridicule and criticize religion, Christianity. Like you mentioned in one chat to me, killing the priest.
No, eating priests.
Eating the priest, yeah.
Buffet de prêtre.
Yeah, today if we say something against imams,
Buffet du curé, yeah.
it will be the biggest hate speech.
Yeah.
Or like after we start with the Facebook page, who contacted us first? The Ahmadiyya Muslim. And they call some guys, modern, very okay, fantastic people maybe, writing, why you do that? You make hatred between Muslims and the Norwegian. I said, I made this? Why you say that? With what? Which post? Now, because of what are you doing here? Just you making racism is growing. I said, no, my friend. And he is Ahmadi, and Ahmadi is apostates in eyes to the majority of all Muslims.
Yeah.
And I said to him, look, my friend, if you have some argument against some post, we can discuss. But I can promise you, our work, if there is racism, our work will do that. Racism will go down. But you, without criticizing, without challenging religion, everything, like they say, even they say we are 1.7 million Muslims. Yeah. And they are not Muslim in the eyes to any Muslim. And what's happened with Christianity? Shortly, what do you think?
I have no idea, man.
You have no idea. It's good answer. It's good answer.
I have no idea.
Let people ask.
Okay, let's people ask. But Janet, finish with.
I was just going to say that our politicians They have been trying to create voters, Muslim voters, that will vote for them, not realizing that mosques are political opposition. Mosques are creating political opposition, and because of not paying attention to the history, this knowledge is lost on our politicians, who are going to get a nasty surprise one day. Islam is politics, it's the Quran, and it's over 600,000 hadiths. There is no room for any personal preference. There is no room for doing anything but being a Muslim. And there is no room for a government that isn't Islamic. So if they keep throwing money at Islam, they are going to just dig their own grave politically.
Yeah, to answer your question quickly, actually, time to think a bit about it. I think that it started with... what?
Spinoza.
Yeah, God first, were the word. No, it started with, the way I see it, political Zionism, like political Judaism, I would call it. At some point, anytime you would criticize Israel, you would be called anti-Semite. And you have the same kind of, what?
He speak about the history, not about Israel. And
Yeah. No, but you have that kind of same reaction where an opinion or a political agenda is being like criticized, and then the argument that is brought against you is you're racist, and that's it, you know? And anti-Semitism is racism, blah, blah, blah. And I think that Islamophobia came just a bit after that. Then, like the political Islamists in France saw that the political Jewish were doing that with anti-Semitism, and they invented that Islamophobia.
Islamophobia, it's come by Iranian.
Yeah.
Yes? Islamophobia, it's come by Iranian.
Yeah. And
long time in 70s.
Yeah, so they were probably
They
inspired
use
by
it.
their
Yeah.
worst enemies, you know?
It started in England.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know where it started, but that's the way I observed it. And, sorry. And,
Look at the mask.
Yes, we will.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. And so that's why there is that mixing of racism that is being made, so we don't criticize Islam or Judaism the same way as we criticize Christianity, because it's supposed to be like the white religion. But yeah, it's the same.
Difficult. Okay, then it's no problem. We can have our time too. Yes. Esther.
Are you opening for questions and answers?
Yes.
Yeah.
To organize the because a lot of
Yeah, you can do that. Very
quite a
much.
lot of people.
Thank you very much. Yes.
May I ask?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm long been from the beginning. I've been a strong supporter of ex-Muslims of Norway. And of course, I'm an atheist, so I agree with everything they are saying. But I want to talk about culture. And saying that Islam is not a culture, I think is not the correct way of looking at it. Because I think that most Muslims I've been talking to, they say they're born Muslims. They've not chosen to be a Muslim. They're just born Muslim. And they're sort of amazed when I ask them about why you're Muslim. Well, it's in my genes, they say. It's not something they've been thinking about, really. They just see themselves as being. And I would say, for a Norwegian, if you ask them what country is the best in the world, they will say, Norway, of course. And you ask them, why you're eating this goat cheese, the Norwegian goat cheese, you know. It's good, it's the best. And, you know, when people start smoking, you know, it's not because they are a supporter of lung cancer, you know. It's just because it's culture. Smoking is culture. And so many things in this world that is absurd is part of the culture, because you learn it from your young, as you have been talking about, and then you just inherit it without thinking. So I say that for many, maybe for most Muslims, it's not a religion, it's a culture. And then comes my question.
Okay.
Then comes my question. Because I say, in a liberal society as ours, we're talking about, you know, many of the Muslim countries in the world, and you can talk about the communist countries as well. You know, they're not democracies, they're not liberal, but we have this fortune that we live in Europe in a secular liberal democracy. And then the question is, how should we treat these people that are promoting non-liberal values? I mean, we had the communists before, you know, we knew what the communists did in Russia and in China and other places. But still, there were a strong group in Norway supporting communism. In a democracy, how can they do that? They're supporting, you know, dictatorship and genocide. And still we tolerated them. Because we said that the values of the liberal society is more important than defeating the enemy. And I think this is the criticism that is serious. How should we fight against illiberal philosophies or religions or whatever, and still preserving our liberal values? Thank you.
Answer it?
For,
You will answer it?
First of all, for about culture, Islam culture, it's not. I don't agree with it. Exists. What you speak about and what you try to explain, it's like brainwashing from the children when he will accept these things. Nothing else. But what I mean that there is no Islam culture. I mean. If we will speak about the Egyptian culture, for example, we will speak about the pyramids, we will speak about all these things. If you speak about Islamic, because there was in Egypt and that you found things exist there. But if you want to speak about Islamic culture, it's a start from where? From Saudi Arabia. What is there? Black box. This is the culture.
Yeah, well.
This is first. Second, even when they continue with that, but because they're mixing with some people will tell you, look, Andalusia and Spain. It's not Islamic culture; it's Amazigh culture, because this is look like Amazigh things. I mean, from the North Africa. If you speak about, for example, Al-Umawi Mosque in Syria, it was a church. It's not Islamic. That's why, you know, to speak about this thing, Muslims when they coming to Spend Islam, there was just destroy things and doing the other things what was exist. Just after when in Spanish it was like the things from Amazigh, North Africa. This is what I speak when I said there is no culture. The things he wanted to speak about the black box. It's the black box. I mean Al-Kaaba. It's just black rocket. They think it's coming from the sky, what exists there, and the other things exist is just by oil after money, and then make Kaaba look like the picture you see. But if you're looking for, you will find nothing. That's what I mean. There is no culture. What happened? For example, culture. If we will speak about culture, look, the Muslims from Africa. They have. I wanted to speak about these things. For example, Muslims from Africa, they have execution for the girls, but it's not exist in Orient. But there, they believe it's. I mean, in Palestine or something, in Palestine or Middle East. But there, for example, they think it's from Islam itself. Anyway, it's not Islam. It's just become. The culture of the old things become inside. That's why Islam culture is not exist, and it's not at all. For the debate about democracy and things for your question about liberal, this is something else. For example, I know here in Scandinavian, because I had some in Scandinavian. It's about it's more liberal. With things, for example, the hate speech here, nobody can attack it. But I am. If you ask my personal question, the hate speech against persons, it should be condemned by the law. I can't be like if something happened like a terrorist attack, and I am Muslim. I shouldn't be proud and saying it's okay. But here, if I did it, it's okay with the law, because they think they are liberal or something. That's why I'm against. If you want to to have the debate about hijab. Hijab, I told you, hijab, it's not freedom. It's the meaning. Well, okay, so about the things, hijab, it's like slaves. That's all. That's why slaves, I want to have a slave, for example. It's my culture. I will tell you I want to have a slave because it's my culture. You will agree with that. Even if you are in liberal society, why you didn't agree me to have slave for me, and you agree for her to have hijab? We should look, this is the value I told you. This is the value of things we don't accept. I mean, we know what mean hijab is. It's not freedom to wear it. The freedom, I can wear it or remove it. But till I ask anyone who had a hijab and she take it off, even in this type of society, I mean in liberal society, what people was telling her. I know girls who are ex-Muslim, they live in France and they have hijab. That's why we should, yes, against this, because it's forced. Yes, go. Tell me.
You said something about we have communist parties in Norway right now. We have them all over Europe. And how do we fight this now, right now? So that's what we are doing. You are actually here fighting with us. The media is not doing any good job in informing people how to vote anymore. They are not letting you have the information you need to make the choices that are good for your country, that are good for your children, that are good for the future. And people are actually not paying too much attention to the medias anymore. And that's what we are doing. We are trying to get out the information that the media refuses to. We are opening the debates that the media doesn't want. Because if there is one person from, let's say it's Sylvi Listhaug, and then there are 3 or 4 people there who are speaking against her. Because the media has decided already that she should be a minority and she should be attacked. This could happen because the media has never had to deal with the social media. I'm not favoring Sylvie, I'm just describing what we watch all the time happening on the TV. In the same way, if someone from the party Rødt, from Red, communists, are speaking, the media does sort of ask them questions in a way that favors them, doesn't ask them any critical questions. We are doing the critical thinking, and you're doing it with us. So it's just a start, but we have to start somewhere. Maybe we will have a better future for Norway in 20 years, as long as we keep sharing information, because sharing of information is what got Norway out from the churches and into the science.
Before you, Morgan, you will say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm a bit like different than you guys. I agree with you that Islam is a culture. It's a culture like French culture, like Christian culture.
What French culture is?
Yeah, it's just something that is put down on you. It's put down on you from when you're born. I was born in France, so I'm French. I don't agree with everything that
you have culture, Christian, Jewish Christian.
I do have. I am influenced by those cultures. They've been put down through history.
I'm asking you. I asked you.
I do. I do. I obviously do. I have some values that have been inspired.
Continue like this.
Yeah, but what I wanted to say is that first, you cultivate only vegetables. A free man is educated, and preferably self-educated. So I think that the solution, the way you treat these people, is you offer them the opportunity to educate themselves about what we hold as valuable. And we ought to stick to our gun. One of those guns is that freedom of speech. It doesn't mean that it's just you can say anything and everything. I think that things that you say should have consequences, and they should have consequences in any time. Like whether it's good or bad. When it's bad, you have to criticize it. You can't like just respect things because it's culture, it's religion. Like if they tell you that the woman is inferior, you have to be able to at least laugh at it, you know, because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, before I say, okay, Essayist, but it was one question, so many people there. Just one comment, if you want, before I have answer to quickly.
I'll say, this is not a criticism of ex-Muslims. So this is how far should we go to do something about this problem? That's what I'm talking about. And as I have some ex-Muslim friends, quite a few, and some of them say that I don't like pork meat, you know. But you're not a Muslim. No, but I still don't like it. And some other ex-Muslims of mine, they say that, you know, when they're calling in for prayer, I just like it. I like the song, I like the music, I like it. Not because I believe in it, but because it's sort of part of my culture.
And they use hijab, or they like it?
No.
Okay.
And so I say, this kind of, why people are starting to smoke is not because they want to have cancer, you know, it's because they want to be cool or something.
Yeah.
It's because all of the people there would do it, you know. And I say, many Muslims don't have a very clear idea of why they are Muslims. They just are. And how should we confront these people? I think it's the best thing is to do what you do. The best thing is to confront the ideas, and I think we should have many more Muslims in Europe, because this is the best place to educate them. If you leave them in Saudi Arabia, if you leave them all other places, you know, they will not be confronted for the ideas, you know.
Okay.
From experience.
Just quickly. Just quickly.
No, just I want to answer.
Very quick.
Education do nothing with them. When you are brainwashing, you do nothing with that. And for your friend who are ex-Muslim and they are happy with the prayer and they don't eat pork, maybe with eating it's something else. We can make it. It's just the taste or something. But with the prayer, if they just feeling comfortable, it's just stupidity. Sorry for that, but it is that because that's what. Okay. What?
Waleed, please. No. I have to have control now. Just stay there. I just want to, because. Estelle, it was okay. Relax. It was very good question, you know. And no. It's. I just want to. I notate here. FGM is Islamic. FGM, female genital mutilation, as much as circumcision of boys. We can discuss this in another. Islamic culture. I agree with Estelle actually, and agree with you too. But I think misunderstanding there. I wish every people say forced marriage. Is it Islamic culture? I will make this very good point. They say culture. Which culture? Turkish? Indic? But when we're talking about Muslim and forced marriage, this is Islamic, and this is Islamic culture. When we're talking about how to be married, how to circumcision, FGM, everything's Islamic culture. I agree with you. We have to call, and all Muslims have to call this Islamic culture. Then I will choose them. Because this is right, and they don't say that. This is like government. This is cultural problem, nothing to do with Islam. No, my friend, it's Islamic culture. I agree with you. And other thing, we have values, like you say. We have many modern values. We say all time secularism, and Norway is secular, and you have organization, secular forum. Yeah, I can reclaim that. But we have Christian party in parliament. How you deal with that? Are you secular? Do you have religion in the state?
I did vote for them.
Yeah. But you know, it's the same. It's the same. It is the same when we talk and how we will treat them. The solution is very easy. Like Waleed Al-Husseini said in the seminar when we had the forced marriage seminar. If West didn't ban the slavery, today in all Islamic world they will practice the slavery. But what they did, they come with the love. Like he say, sometimes we have to have love. And he made this, and I love that, to stop things which are not compatible with the modern values and the state. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Carrie, and thank you for all your views in this discussion. Now, in Norway, you have around 150,000 members of mosques, and it's around the same number, 150,000 members of Catholic churches in Norway, and this would mostly be immigrants from Poland. And you know, of course, that in Europe it's a diversity of religions, and religion means a lot for a lot of people. Now, I'm wondering, of course, you're an organization called Ex-Muslims, so I'm wondering, do you have criticism of other religions as well, or do you only see the fear of Islam? And also, I would like to, you said something about religion being a private matter, but do you accept freedom of religion as much as you accept freedom of speech? I mean, you're talking about a liberal, living in a liberal democracy. For many of us, freedom of religion and freedom of criticism of religion are sort of core values of this liberalism. I'm hearing a little bit here that, you know, is criticism of you know, how do we deal with the parties we don't agree with and all that. That worries me. If you're going to be serious about criticizing Islam, you have to also be serious about freedom of speech and freedom of opinion, I think. So I'm hearing some worrying signals from what you're saying. Then the last thing, I agree that criticism of religion is necessary. I think you're painting a picture of Europe that's too positive, because I think that there are certainly European countries where you cannot criticize Christian religions. This will be Catholicism, and this will be, for example, Orthodox Christianity. So you're painting a bit too positive picture there, and maybe a bit naive because your focus is maybe too narrow, I think. But criticism of religion and even criticism of atheism, I think, is absolutely needed. But you also have extreme groups who use hatred. You use hatred against not Islam as a religion, but Muslims as human beings, as individuals. And these groups often also have the same hatred towards Jews. Now, these many examples. I mean, punish a Muslim was just one of the latest examples here in Norway. Now, I'm wondering, and these groups who do promote using violence, and also do promote what I would call hatred. How do you make sure that you differentiate between hatred and criticism? Because this is essential in making a good environment for criticism. And just one final thing, because this gentleman here said something about bringing Muslims to Europe to have more liberal views. And there has been actually, I don't think you should open all of that discussion, but there has actually been research done showing that Muslims in Europe, yes, you have extreme groups for sure, will share the values of the people in the countries which they move. No, there has been, it is not a lie that there has been research which shows that. Now, if you're going to have a debate where you want to be taken seriously, you have to respect different matters of opinion. This I think is a great value.
Okay.
So this I would just like to say that this is the Pew Research Academy, and maybe that's a good, and also you know that the Civita think tank, they were also writing about this, that immigrants in general become more similar to Norwegians. I mean, we do actually influence each other. Maybe you are also an example of that. I mean, you're born here, you're going against some of the things and maybe moving closer into Norwegian culture. So this I find a little bit hard.
Thank you very much. Just shortly, because I don't know how long you will use. I don't know how you get to even, I can say how dare you ask we use, we are for promote violence or not.
That's not absolutely what I said.
No, you ask, do you? I know, or hate speech. This is in the case when we're talking about Islam. We have this all the time. I know I have been in Poland. Poland atheists invite me, ex-Muslims of Norway, to Warsaw for atheist days. And I saw how Catholic Church have the power, and they fight for abortion rights. And in today, in 2018, I know the struggle is continuing. But have you never seen these pictures I showed this in the start? Today, in 21st century, some Christians, atheist one, he say fuck this and fuck that when he talked about Jesus. He's not afraid, but he's today afraid because of he's now in the ex-Muslim, and first time he's sitting here. So I don't like, I support every atheist, even, and I will fight for against other religions too. But the point is, we are calling ourselves ex-Muslims, but not only atheists, because of there is a problem to be an ex-Muslim in 2008. It's 18, yeah, and it's not similar with the nobody. Not the Hinduism. Every religion have problem, and I hope one day we have a free world without religion. This is another thing. But freedom we have. Okay, you continue.
Because you didn't answer her.
Yeah.
I will start from the end when you speak about the static. I don't know, it's European one or local? European one, okay. Yes, anyway, the same, I agree with you. I will not have, I will not face the static, but we had the same one in France, local. There was 70% believe in Sharia. It's one real one, from the not media and from the Center of Research. I'm speaking about France. The same. So this I don't know from where. I will not say it's I don't agree or something. No, I'm not talking about there is Muslim not integrate inside the society. Yes, they are, but when you said extreme, it exists extreme groups inside the Muslim society. Inside the Muslims in Europe. But what you mean by extreme? The definition I said through my speech, or the definition of jihadist? I asking now. What you mean by extreme?
Well, you have both extreme groups, but I'm not saying that.
No. I'm speaking about, you said there is Muslim extreme inside European society.
Sure.
Yes, but what you mean by extreme?
There will be different kinds of groups. I don't think there's.
Okay, but I'm speaking about your static. You said, yes, you said there is extreme Muslim group in the society.
I would prefer that you sort of answer my questions and then I can come up with.
Yeah.
No, but I want to understand, nothing else.
Okay, Maria.
Nothing else. I want to understand. That's all. Because you said it's extreme. There is extreme Muslims. So I told you what meaning of extreme.
Well, I don't think that all Muslims are extreme.
Yes, I know.
What you mean. So
We didn't say that.
Talking about it, we all know that you have extremist groups. You have them here in Norway. They're quite defined by the security intelligence.
Okay. So I understand what you mean.
It's okay.
No. I will continue. Yes.
Waleed, we cannot continue like this conversation.
No, it's not conversation. I just wanted to understand.
Short, and we have two people waiting.
Excuse me, are you Norwegian? She's Norwegian, yes. Have you seen that video from Islam.net?
I'm very familiar with
Yeah, you're
and I just want to say that, criticizing the Muslim cultures in Norway, there are many things to look at. A lot of the things that you said about what's been spoken in mosques, I agree with. But, there are also certain things that I want you to answer, how to differentiate by the extremist groups who do actually promote hate and violence towards Muslims,
Well,
and often these same groups also will target Jews. How do we have to make sure that we differentiate between that and criticism? That's what I'm saying. Now, I don't share the view that you have that you can be not be a Muslim and make individual choices. And I think you're generalizing much more than I would prefer. But that's not saying that I don't see many of the points that you are mentioning, and those are valid points. But I think you're generalizing too much. Your strokes are too broad.
I think that the problem is very basic with Islam, because from the beginning, Islam proposed you that there is two groups, the believers and the unbelievers. That's at the very beginning of the book, of the Quran, okay? Believers and unbelievers. Unbelievers ought to be punished. That's a deal breaker from the get-go. If you don't believe my story, you ought to die. Like, that's it. That's it. There's no more discussion. You know what I mean? Like, that's extreme. If you believe there is one God and Muhammad is his prophet, to me, that's already extreme. Because when you know all the things that goes with it, that you ought to die for not believing in that story or that perfection or whatever, then that's already extreme. That's already extreme. So, yeah, like, let's get rid of them all.
Okay,
Let's get rid of them all.
Now it's Janet, and after that, you can just come now, Janet.
I think that we should always be very clear on the matter that we do not support any kind of violence. Why we are here is that we want to discuss ideology without having to experience violence. It shouldn't be any. And the both extreme groups that we fear, both the Islamic and very often the høyreekstrem, what is it called in the far right, they are fueled by the lack of this conversation that we are having right now. They are fueled by the hatred that they don't know what to do with because the dialogue is blocked. As long as we are discussing things, we are actually creating a more peaceful dialogue. If we keep refusing this dialogue, we don't know what's going to happen. We can't have discussions with anyone to bring them on a more peaceful path. It's dangerous to not have these conversations. But I'm completely against anyone who harasses anyone.
We don't generalize it because we we don't generalization because when we speak, I speak about special things. When I speak, I said Islamism, we said Islamism, or we said Islam politique. And for me, anyone who are Islamism, even if he's in his own mosque and do nothing, just giving speech, but he's Islamism or he's following for Islam politique, he's extreme. That's for me, like this, the definition of extreme. Even if he's in his mosque, just giving hate speech. Because he's fundamentalism. You know, by the way, the hate speech, even if you read Al-Fatiha, it's full of hate speech. The first surah of Quran. So this is hate speech.
People dying because of Islam. I want to say in Norway, Islam, not Islamism, and I want to speak. Is it hate speech against Muslim? Why? If I say Islam is bullshit, have I free speech? Why not? We say fascism or Nazism is bullshit. This is we want to normalize. I don't care who being insults or somebody accuse us we are making hate speech. No, Islam is bad. And we have to do something. I say, now you, after him. Generalizing with Islam? Who?
No, Islam not generalize. He speak about ideology. And the ideology...
Islam. Why I cannot say Islam is bullshit? Yeah, but why? Who get insults?
It's not
you first, after you. You have to make
Waleed,
yes.
Thank you very much for coming to Norway. We are proud to have you. Welcome to Norway. It is wonderful to listen to you. I have one question for you. Can you ask me that? You told us that in France is the situation we will have in Norway in 15 years. Maybe less than 15 years. Can you just tell me a little bit, what do you think will happen in Norway in the future with Islam in our country here? Very shortly. Thank you.
We will have people who are defend Islamism like this. And these people, they will give, not only, I don't mean them, they will give like the cover for Islamism and Islam politique to be more and more strong. In the name of liberty, in the name, not generalization, in the name of making you scared of other racism group exist. That's what will happen during these 10 years. And then, but this gives the time for Islamism to become more and more strong. Then it will start with asking for hijab, stuff, halal, the factor of identity, and then the separation with some of groups in the name of multiculturalism, because Islamic culture is nice and multicultural is paradise. And then you will have just areas out of law, and you, because you are planned, you can't enter there, or you will be attacked. But he's look like Muslim, he will be inside. That's what happened there in France now. There's a lot of camp. It's interdit for blind. It's forbidden for blind. Yes, but it's not even parallel society. It's micro society. They have on their value. They will have like United Kingdom their own court.
Will United Kingdom become an Islamic state?
Oh, okay.
Yes, time is gone now, and we can have you, my friend. Yes. Please.
Thank you. Well, my name is Mohammed, and I'm a Norwegian citizen with a Palestinian background. I'm Palestinian from Gaza. I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to ask questions. I will just give a small comment, because the notice that what I noticed from the speeches here is that it's all about fight, and it's all about hate, and somehow it's enemizing each other's. And I believe that it is still possible not to enemize each other's, and to be, because I am a Muslim, so I have to be your enemy, and because you are not a Muslim, you have to be my enemy. I am a Muslim, and that's fine for me. My wife is not a Muslim, and she's not it's not believing in God. But
do you have
Waleed? What?
Do you ask if your sister married a Norwegian?
Well, I don't have a sister, but it's up to her if I have. Yeah. But like I said, I'm still just trying to say something here, that we don't have to enemize ourselves in order to be in a fight. It's not because it seems that it's just only about a fight, that it's either me or them. So you, my friend, you will be the same like them. No. Because if it's either you or them, then it's the same. It's the same scenario. It's the same case.
Now, 1 minute. Okay.
Yeah, but we should be able to accept each other as human beings in a peaceful way. You are spreading hate somehow in your speech now. You are spreading fear. We don't want this fear here.
Okay.
And we don't live in ghettos like other countries in Europe. We are immigrants, but we are not. We are not.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. And I will close now. We have to. You will have this last. You will have the last.
No, I have to comment, because first we said we don't. Did we say he start with the words "my family is Muslim"? So we don't know. You felt that you felt it because you don't accept us inside you. Even I don't judge. Anyway, your religion don't accept us.
It's the way you see it.
No.
Because the way I see it in my religion, I'm fine by
it's
that.
your.
It's
your.
Yes.
It's your.
Mohammed,
I'm talking about your religion.
We will have one new discussion. I think now the last 1 minute. Okay, we can talk and take and one coffee with you and talk. But I just have to finish here the last words. Okay, you are my friend and I love you even I don't know you. This is nothing to do with this is nothing to do with the people. This is the same accusation we get or we started even anti-Muslims. This is nothing to do with case. In my family, only me and my brother is ex-Muslims, no one else. And everyone is believer. And I love them, so I fight against Islam. I have the right to fight against Islam because you think this is peace, I think this is war, and we have free speech. We are living in West. So I will talk without somebody say to me, you do hate speech. You are racist, you are Islamophobe. No, my friend, I'm not. I love people, every people. And I became to love people after I left Islam. And so easy. Thank you very much, and see you on next seminar, and we will continue with, and he will come again. He will come again. Thank you very much.